Hey everyone, it's the Sith Justice Warriors podcast coming to you live today on YouTube.
Yay.
Yay.
You don't
So,
sound so excited.
You can't tell the excitement's coursing through his veins.
Oh my goodness.
what? No, it's May 3rd, so we have to think about the fact that tomorrow is May the 4th, and so May the 4th is the official day for folks to talk about everyone's favorite topic, Star Wars. And Star Wars has been through a lot, and I think a lot of the folks who followed us know how we feel about it. Um, Normally, it's the time of reflecting on the good, the bad, and trying to get the companies to make us buy Star Wars crap because they probably put out the new toys that are going to be released or something like that. So if you want to buy your Rose Tico action figure,
Oh geez.
if you want to buy your Admiral Holdo figure, your statue, or $300 statue, this is the time to do it.
Reflecting, venting, tomato.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna start out with you, Lupia. We've talked a lot about Star Wars, and we've talked. Was it the most recent one was Leslie, my darling, beautiful Leslie, joining Star Wars. We actually didn't talk about or have we talked about the whole power struggle between Kathleen Kennedy and Disney? Yeah, we actually talked about that. So take us back and let us know what you think about where Star Wars has been, where has it gone.
Well, yeah, I mean, first off, happy May the 4th, early May the 4th to everyone listening. I'll start off by saying, this May the 4th, I was thinking of Star Wars past, present, and future. And we cover a lot, we cover a lot on this show about, things that are happening today. What does it mean for the future of the franchise? What we miss about the past. So I want to kind of bring it like full circle around past, present, future. I will say, like, I just logged in on Disney Plus for probably the first time in a while, just to see what the content was for May the 4th. And, they have all the movies there, which made me think, which one's my favorite movie? And that's what I wanted to cover from a past perspective. To this day, Empire Strikes Back will still be my favorite. However, looking back at the past movies and having seen the future, we talk about the future and the present of it, I have come to an appreciation the last few years of the episodes 1, 2, and 3 that George Lucas, that George Lucas brought to us as kind of his swan song before he went back to being a hermit and then eventually sold it off. But I will say, I have come to an appreciation of those films. They're a lot of the elements. I know, Lucas got a lot of flack for a lot of what he did in the films. And the fact that he used a lot of different techniques. He actually, introduced Jar Jar, which people hate to love. And he actually, introduced all of these different species, all of these different alien races, if you will, to the universe, which was kind of cool. So like I said, in the past, I really can say that I did not appreciate the full scope of everything until now. And rightfully so, because of what we've seen come out, in the present. Now, chugging along to the present, I was very pleased with how, The Mandalorian was done. I have high hopes for the second season. I know there's a lot of teaser trailers out there that are actually fake ones. I don't know necessarily what it's going to do for the franchise because it's telling a story in the past again, we're picking up sources from the past to be in the future. But I was very pleased with how they did that. And I hope that they figure out Disney Plus and this linkage. As we all know, looking forward with Leslie, being, kind of leading the charge there and having this sort of agenda script, if you will, for future content. I'm not quite sure what to expect other than the agenda being pushed forward at the cost of a lot of the fans, which sucks. But I will say, I only hope that the future they learn from their mistakes of the present and that they leverage some of the things that, we have come to love and come to appreciate, and that they don't have to go back and dig deep into the past for things that they think are going to work and bring those nostalgic member-berry feelings, if you will. You don't need to retell Lando Calrissian's story. You don't need to retell Han Solo's story. You don't need to go that far. You actually have so much to tell in the future. But again, they kind of ruined it with what happened in The Last Jedi. So, which will be on Disney Plus starting tomorrow for those who haven't watched it. But they're not missing that much. Anyway, those were my thoughts around the May the 4th. And, to your point, fan, it is your one chance to buy your Rose Tico toy if you can find it. Who knows, down the road it may be a collector's item, but you can get it pretty cheap at Marshall's, I'm thinking. When they reopen.
Damn it. Where are we now? Stole my damn joke.
Sorry.
Ethan's actually bought all of them, so you
there
probably
you
can't buy
go.
them.
We could ask Ethan for a donation of a Rose Tico.
Was he starting
toy.
a bonfire or something?
No, he loves Rose Tico. It's actually loves her. So anyway,
And you like that guy, fan?
Yeah,
No, I love it. The whole reason I found Ethan was because he was doing videos about Star Wars. It was during The Last Jedi, and I was going through some mental processing of what I've experienced with The Last Jedi, and here he comes along, and there's a man just serenading to Rose Tico, and then the other one was the Fabio, when he had the Fabio music on, and he had the Rose Tico doll, and he was like serenading Rose Tico. It was the best, and that's how I found Ethan. And then I never understood why he was named Comic Artist Pro Secrets, because I thought it was just a random name, but then I realized, oh yeah, he's actually worked in the industry for 27 years now. Anyway, yes, sorry, that was my memory lane of how I found Caesar, or did Caesar find me?
Anyway, actually, let's go to you, Sirius, because this is one of those rare moments where we get to hear from you. So give us your thoughts on May the 4th.
May the 4th. Well, I like your system for reflecting on May the 4th. So, let's dial it back to the past. I would probably say, if I had to pick a favorite Star Wars film, and it was really tough. Like it really makes you think, because every single Star Wars is special in its own way, whether for better or worse. But I will have to say that, and it may be an unpopular opinion, but you know what? I don't give a shit. I would probably say that my favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Interesting.
I don't know how that's unpopular. I think it's the best choreographed lightsaber duel to this day.
And I absolutely loved it. And that's just one of the reasons. Like the duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin was brilliant. It was absolutely fucking brilliant. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, like they really went to work on that. And not just that, but also it was cool that they kind of synced that they, at the same time that was going on, you had Sidious battle Yoda, And then in the beginning, you had Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku 2. And I actually thought it was a nice kind of fun battle in between with Obi-Wan and General Grievous. I thought that was a really cool scene where he had the 4 lightsabers and Obi-Wan just fucking took him down, one limb by limb. And it was like there's little quirks like that, like when Obi-Wan actually shot him with the gun because he never uses a gun. And then when you finally see Grievous die, he just throws the gun. He was like, ugh, uncivilized. And it really set the stage. Like a lot of people were, it's hard for me to believe that people had a problem with like what he was doing. Like I understand that, it's, people fear what they don't understand. So when you see all these like new like species and characters, people, the first thing that people do is like criticize because they don't know how to react to it. So it's almost like a defense of some sort. But I mean, it had no effect. It had no impact on the actual story. Like, granted, Jar Jar Binks was a fucking abomination. I don't know why the fuck he was in there to begin with. For those of you who are Jar Jar Binks fans, I apologize in advance, but fuck him. Okay, I can't stand the character. He has no place in society, and like he should have been cast out.
What were you gonna say, Fan?
You know what's interesting though? When it's interesting that when you look at the documentaries, George Lucas would always talk about no, not always, but I never forgot it. In the documentary of the making of the Star Wars, I guess the prequel, he said, Jar Jar is the key to this. I have to execute him properly. Not like execute him, killing him. He was always mentioning that it all was based on Jar Jar. And it felt like what he was trying to do. And I think I saw this in one of those YouTube things about Darth Jar Jar or something like that.
No.
The whole theory that Darth Jar Jar... No, but I mean, I think about it, like, you probably watched it. It asks the question, had George Lucas executed Jar Jar Binks properly and actually stuck to it? I'm actually curious if Jar Jar was Darth Jar Jar. That's the one thing I'll never know.
Oh,
man. No, I think about it. He did the Jedi flip. Remember, he did that Jedi flip into the pond. Look, I think we may agree to disagree. But I'm just gonna say it's not that I like Jar Jar. I think that I wonder if he did Jar Jar better. Could a Jar Jar be something bigger?
I agree.
Misa don't know.
I agree to an extent.
I agree to disagree. See, I really, like, no matter what people put in front of me, like, I can't understand this character that people are popping bottles over. Like, I really don't get it.
No, I don't think anybody likes him. I think it's just the question,
what if Jar Jar never had
the bigger than what
if he never... It's like a what if. Yeah, I see where you're going.
You'll never know. You'll never know. I don't like Jar Jar. I'm just trying to let you know that what if he did it better, because I'll never forget that documentary where he's like, Jar Jar is the key to this. I have to get this right. And I was just like, why is Jar Jar the key to this? I've been paraphrasing, but the way he described how important it was to get Jar Jar right, and he got it wrong, by the way, which is why he pulled him out of the second and the third episode. But I'll never know, because he adjusted course because the fan reaction was very, very poor, unlike Disney, and he adjusted course. He just erased them. He knew that first impressions are everything, and he screwed that up. And so he said, okay, I messed it up, so I got to put him away.
No, agreed. But like, I like what you said, adjusted course, because that's the key to it all. He actually adjusted course, like, unlike some other people.
Fan. Quick on the draw. You have your last dollar on Earth. You have to spend it either on a Rose Tico doll or a Jar Jar doll. Which one? Go.
I'll do Rose because at least
Yeah.
I could put
Thank
Fabio.
you.
I could put Fabio music on and do a total copy.
There you
Do a
go.
total copy of the Ethan videos because we don't see those anymore.
Anyway, we interrupted you, Sirius. Sorry about that. We interrupted you.
No,
Back to
it's-
what you were saying.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the beauty about Star Wars. Like, it's easy to go off on a tangent and just find yourself back to what you were talking about. Because, speaking of Rose Tico and everything, flash back to the present with the current or latest trilogy, because it's basically done now. I thought that when Force Awakens came out, I actually enjoyed it. I actually did like Force Awakens a lot. The way of introducing the characters. I had a couple issues with how they developed certain characters. I mean, but in the end, it wasn't too bad. But of course, I say that, and then my least favorite Star Wars of the whole Skywalker saga, preceded that in The Last Jedi, and there were so many problems with that. I mean, and then it was bad to the point where Abrams had to fix whatever he could from The Last Jedi. I mean, because you had this you had this buildup of Snoke in The Force Awakens, and I was really looking forward to The Last Jedi, and I didn't read a lot of spoilers before Last Jedi, so I think I was slightly more optimistic than most people. And this buildup of Snoke, and then you get to the end, and it was just like, what the fuck? It's like he was just discarded, and then it's just like you had to, and of course Abrams had to basically fucking make it up, saying that Palpatine created stuff, but it was like that's still not the point, because in the end it's like he was like this big polarizing figure, then it was just like he just fucking died like nothing. The fact that he was almighty and powerful, yet he couldn't even sense that Kylo was betraying him right in front of him. It's like the lightsaber's turning like 12 inches away from his fucking waist, and he couldn't sense it. Come on. It's like, who believes that for a single second? But, that's my personal opinion. Now, as far as the future goes, I mean, I guess as long as you're sourcing from the past, I think the future can be bright. I can't say it'll be.
You're so optimistic.
Bright, like a fire, like a dumpster fire bright, because that's bright too.
Well, we don't know. I just said future looks bright. I never, whether it's in a good way or a bad way, we don't know.
You're
but
optimist.
well, no, I say that because I feel like the only way you can make it successful and is by sourcing from the past, because it's because of the Star Wars universe, what was created. It's really hard to create something new without you can't just create something new and not tie it to something in the past, which makes me personally believe that they should have never, quote unquote, ended the Skywalker saga. I feel like they still could have, not so much ended it, but they could have at least referenced him, or
kept him alive.
Yeah. Or at least kept him alive until episode 9. At least kept him alive through Last Jedi. I mean, because I thought it was kind of cool. Because I was
Wait,
going through.
I'm showing my screen. This is Star Wars going to the past, way beyond the Skywalker saga. You got this High Republic where this Karen-looking woman over here is your lead character, is Karen Jedi. There's a Wookiee. That will be Brie Larson. I just want you to understand, when you say the past, and I'm calling you out, serious. This is the past. This is them reaching to the past. This is the reach around, man. Look at this. Look at her. Just saying. This is the reach around you're talking about right here.
Reach around.
Look at Karen right here. Lovely Karen. That's the reach around you're talking about.
Karen.
Look, all I'm saying is that, but regardless, but the thing is, regardless of whether we like it or not, it's going to be profitable. Like it's putting money in Disney's wallet, and like I said, we could go to town on it, but it's funny. Like it comes full circle because without all these wonderful things, it's like where would we get our rants from?
Is it really making money though? Well, actually, that'd be another topic because there's
enough apparently.
No, there's rumor that they've yet to make their $4 billion. Like, so if they paid $4 billion for this acquisition, they have yet to break even. That's like if you do the metrics, because some people say, oh, well, if you count all the movies, it's $4 billion. No, that's because it's stretched over a set amount of years. No, these people are idiots if they say you count the money of the box office and all that stuff.
No.
But I heard
to take into account that they had to
pay for that.
Yeah, they had to spend money to make the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some people are idiotic about that, but no, it's we'll have to. Yeah. To your point, I guess the way I'm interpreting what you're saying is they're going to be only up, but I think there's a.
Oh no, I definitely not. Like I said, like it definitely has the potential to be bright. I mean, like I said, like I think the Mandalorian is brilliant. I think it's an awesome show. But like I said, you can't have good without the bad, and I mean, it's like there's a lot of bad out there, but at the same time,
a lot of bad.
Like I said, at the same time, there's a lot of good. I mean, but it's going to come down to but when you have something like the Mandalorian, you have to figure out where are they going to.
The Mandalorian is the only good that happened. I mean, maybe Rogue One, but okay, whatever.
But again, Rogue One takes place in the past. Like
Speaking of Rogue One, maybe yeah. Well, actually, I'll hold it from my section.
Yeah,
finish up. Yeah,
sourcing from the past is the ultimate savior, but at the same time, it's the ultimate excuse because to your point, also sourcing from the past gives them a reason to tie these like so-called like random characters into the lore of Star Wars. But we'll see what happens. I mean, but regardless, it's Star Wars was a great acquisition. Star Wars is another fucking kind of like I'm gonna reference Marvel a little bit here. Star Wars is just another fucking Infinity Stone in Disney's gauntlet. Because you take a look at like every there's so many sub companies that Disney technically owns because of all the other companies owning them. But like you have like your six main ones. You have you look at the ones that are on Disney Plus. You have Marvel, you have Pixar, you have Star Wars.
Yeah, and Disney's doing such a wonderful job fucking up both Marvel and Star Wars. The Infinity Stones are cracking.
Yeah.
So I really wouldn't say that. I mean, they are simply just the biggest by far because every other like Sony, Universal, they kind of flop it. But I mean, look at Marvel Phase 4. We've talked about that, where that direction's going. There's really no. I don't know what ever since Bob Iger decided to jump ship, it feels I don't see that Infinity. I don't see them being this juggernaut anymore.
My issue with them being a juggernaut is out of sight, out of mind. Right now, no one is watching movies. Right now, like to be honest with you, like I don't know that even when we talked about the movie theaters. I don't even think that when they reopen, people are going to be there. So, like, to put it in perspective, no one right now cares about Phase 4 because I know I don't, and I should. Like, right now, like, I kind of glance past a lot of the Marvel news. The comic book industry is suffering. I'm actually trying to help the comic book artists by supporting their Kickstarters. So, to be honest with you, I'm very concerned about what the future is for total Disney.
Yeah.
If they can't open the parks, they're screwed too.
Yeah.
But this is about Disney. This is about Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
I was just saying we got like 5 minutes left, and I just wanted to get my piece in. But
Yeah,
is there any last burning things before we wrap it up?
No, pretty much like what I was getting at with the Infinity Stones. It's just kind of referenced back to what we were talking about before. Is Disney capable of wielding like all this power? Because when you have,
Clearly not.
It's one thing to have
not.
like companies that aren't as big, but when you have companies as big as Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, it makes you wonder if they're going to eventually sell one of them off because they can't control all of them.
All right. Okay, so I guess no one really cares about my opinion now.
No, you have the floor.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just kidding. No, but I'll be quick. I'm just trying to get this within 30. So my movie is actually also not a popular one, Return of the Jedi. Everyone says Empire. Empire is the best of the movies. I just believe, for me as a kid growing up, I've always wanted to see Luke be a badass Jedi, and what I mean by that is I wanted him to like have all the cool choreography. Now I know in the time you can't get that; it just wasn't there outside of kung fu movies like a Kung Fu Hustle or whatever. But that being said, for me as a kid, I was like the closest thing I was ever going to get. So seeing Luke, I wouldn't even call that good lightsaber fighting, but I mean, at Return of the Jedi, he was a full Jedi. So that to me was like the closest thing I would get in terms of my dream as a kid. And then when The Last Jedi came, I was just so geeked up saying, finally going to get Luke to do this cool lightsaber battle. And I know he's going to die, but I believe he's going to die fighting. He's going to die heroically. No, not at all. And I think we've all talked about that the disappointment of The Last Jedi to the death. And I mean, Luke is my favorite character. And let's talk about that was the past. Everyone knows how I feel about Disney in general. I feel like they've been focusing on their check boxes at the expense of good storytelling, good character building. And I wanted to point this out to you, Sirius, when you say reaching to the past. Well, let me add this. This is what happens when you reach into the past. You have people. This is the title of the of our stream called the Alphabet Squad. So it's ironic that it's called the Alphabet Squadron, right?
Yeah.
The Alphabet Squadron is a book released in June 2019. It's about the rebels or whoever, I don't know what they're called anymore, Republic, trying to chase down the people, the old remnants of the Empire. And so, of course, in typical Disney Lucasfilm fashion, by the way, bounding into comics article. Here we go. You know Jyn Erso? Blah, blah, blah. The woman who started it all and destroyed the Death Star. Jyn Erso destroyed the Death Star, by the way. No. General Skywalker, Red Squadron destroyed the Death Star. No. Skywalker fired the last shot was all. Jyn did everything that mattered. Every fucking thing. Jyn fucking Erso. Jyn Erso was just a freaking dot. It was actually Kyle Katarn, was it? Wasn't his name Kyle Katarn in Dark Forces? Yeah. Because we had to have a woman do it. And actually, I did like Jyn Erso. But no. Jyn Erso did everything. Jyn Erso destroyed the Death Star. This woman named, of course, her name is a woman. She's a woman, Yrica Quell. This is what This is what happens when you reach into the past. I did exactly. This is perfect. I did it all.
It's sad when they reach into the past and change it. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Like I said, ultimate opportunity, but also the ultimate excuse.
Yes. So instead, I get this. I get Jake Skywalker.
Jake.
And it's not. The milk.
Oh, the milk.
Yeah.
How can you forget?
There's a recipe on how to make that.
Oh my god. Yeah. So you guys want to know why I'm fucking not happy about the future? This fucking line tells me why. I'm so fucking pissed the fuck off about seeing this Skywalker fired the last shot was all. Jyn did everything that mattered. And then it's like, I met her once. And then I guess they talk about how great she was. She was a cool character. By the way, she was a good character.
She was a good character.
But I will never forget that she was not the original one in canon that did the Death Star shit.
Yes.
Hey, they had to make her a woman, fine. But you guys gotta fucking do this shit to me and say Skywalker fired, the last shot was all, Jin did everything that mattered. This is the future of Star Wars. So keep going, Disney. You're probably giving me more content to bitch about.
as Sirius said.
Adding fuel to the fire.
As Sirius did point out.
Now, if you all like this content, want more of this, and I'm teasing that I'm going to eventually get down to a video dissecting something odd about The Last of Us 2. And it's actually nothing political or agenda. I'd like to dissect something as an outsider, but I'm going to get around to this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts on our live streams and our videos. If you're a subscriber, please make sure you press the bell to make sure that you get notifications of our videos and live streams. But otherwise, we usually do our podcasts on Sunday evening Eastern time. So before I let this podcast go, any last thoughts about May the 4th? I think we'll probably end up doing a video wrapping up whatever stupidity Disney does on May the 4th.
Yeah, exactly. We will. And honestly, guys, we want to hear from you. Just to reiterate, tweet us at Justice Sith. We definitely want to hear from you.
And
or on this.
Skywalker did nothing. Sorry. Skywalker did nothing. Fuck you.
We could leave on that note.
Yes. And also don't forget to send us an email at SithJusticeWarriorsPodcast@email.com. Let us know your thoughts. Whether it be Star Wars, what you want us to talk about in future podcasts. Any comments are greatly appreciated, as we appreciate you listening to us.
Sure you don't want to talk about Last of Us? I mean, that's the only thing that's heating up the internet by now.
I really do, actually, because the more I delve into it, the more it becomes an interesting. There are some interesting things. So yeah.
Sorry, tangent. We were just messing around, but yeah, let's. We cover gaming. We'll eventually cover anime. Should there be something pivotal for us to talk about? And yeah, look out.
Evangelion when they release the 3.1.1. That's when we should talk for sure.
I thought they did, but oh well.
No, isn't it 3? Like they delayed it because of COVID.
I'm really confused about it. Anyway, we talked too long. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Stay safe out there.
Bye.
Bye, guys.